Well, I hope you caught part one that we did with Chuck Akulis. Of course, this all happened because I went out to the Dirt Hall of Fame and Museum and saw one of Chuck Akulis' car from 1976. So if you missed the first one we did, I aired that just a couple of days ago. Make sure to go back. So we're going to head on down to Windsor. Of course, Chuck Akulis, one of the bigger names in the Southern Tier, and also Canandaigua won a lot of races, and he joins us here. Chuck, we left off with you retiring in 2000, so let's go all the way back. What got you into racing? It was 1960. Were you a guy that went to the races? Did you think that this would happen, or how did it come about?
No, I never had. I had been to the races, but not a lot. And but my brother-in-law, Larry Groover, him and his dad had a car, and they were going. They were racing at Pencan at the time, and there was going to have a Greenhorn race. A race, for guys that never drove before.
I see.
And so they told me that, come on down and drive the car. So I did. I went down and drove the car and wrecked the car for them.
So you didn't do well the first time?
No, so didn't start out too good, but I kind of got the urge to do it, and because of the experience I had there. And me and some guys built another car. We built a car, and we didn't know anything about race cars. We didn't know anything how to build one or nothing. But back then, everybody built their own cars. So we built this car and took it to the racetrack, and I didn't have much success with it. I wrecked that one and probably a couple times, and then the guys kind of left me.
Really?
Left me alone. And so anyway, they had other interests too. They didn't do it just because of that. But after that, I decided to build a car. So I went ahead and built another car, and raced that for a couple of years. Anyway, I kept wrecking the car. I don't know if I might have won a heat race with it. It just wasn't working out for me, and I wasn't kind of wondering how serious I was going to be about racing.
Okay.
But then when I got my first break, was my brother-in-law was driving for the Andrews Schaefer team, and he was going to go. He was going to go to run on Blacktop. So he suggested to the Schaefer team that, well, maybe, they could hire me to drive the car. So that's what happened, and then I went over there and seen them and talked to them, and, yeah, they wanted me to drive the car. I don't know why. I didn't have any credentials to go with it. All I did is wreck cars. But it was the best thing that happened to me.
What track was that asphalt track the first time you drove for the Schaefer Andrews team?
Well, we went to Shangri-La in Owego when I was with the Andrews team. I went there. There was one year they were trying to get the track going again, and they wanted the guys from 5 Mile Point to come down there and race. So
I see.
We went down. We weren't successful there at all.
No?
We didn't have, we didn't have the tires or anything that we really needed. But, it just wasn't, we were in the wrong place, I guess, at the wrong time or whatever, the right time.
Well, had you had any success anywhere up till that point when you went to Shangri-La that night? Had you at least had some good finishes on dirt or anything?
I can't remember that, but we may have, because I won my first feature with the Andrews car, and so I can't remember exactly how this worked out, but I did go there with that car of Andrews, and we ran. I had some experience. I don't know how many nights we went there, or if we went for a half a season or whatever. But I had raced on the track, so I knew kind of a little bit about the racetrack.
Okay. All right. By the way, I want to thank Ted Schmidt. He gave us the photo that you have in the background. Not sure if this is the particular car that we're talking about here, but it's the earliest one that he had of Chuck Akulis. So when did the wins start to come more frequently, Chuck? And was it asphalt or dirt when that happened?
No, we didn't stay with the asphalt. We went back to dirt, and well, that's when they started. Right at that time. I can't remember the year, but I think it was '66 that we started. It was just, let's see, it was '65 or '66, and we won. Not a real lot of races. Probably picked up a couple races that year, or two, maybe 2 or 3 or so. But we did, and I don't remember if it was the first year I drove for them or the second, and we won our first 100-lapper at 5 Mile Point.
Okay. Was 5 Mile Point the track that you would think of as maybe where you had the most wins, or was it someplace else? Because I know you won a lot at Canandaigua too, didn't you?
Well, we didn't win a lot, but we ran good there. We tied with Alan Johnson for the championship the one year, but this is long after. This is with a different car and different owner and everything. We didn't start racing there until probably, '83 or '84.
And by then you were pretty established and came to the racetrack. This is the line I always use, Chuck, is you actually came to the racetrack thinking you had a chance to win, right?
Yeah, I mean, we figured we did. We thought we did. But I still owned the car when we went there. The first time I went there, anyway. And, well, that's a whole different story there with what happened there. But going back to Shangri-La and then 5 Mile Point, we went back to 5 Mile Point and we stayed there. And we won some races every year that I drove for them. And I think we won some at other, like maybe even one at Pencan, I can't remember. But I think at Morris Mid-State Speedway we won some races. But then in 1969, they decided, well, Bob Schaefer, the crew, and so it was John and Hal Andrews still owned the car, and they decided they wanted to retire. I guess they figured they were, spending too much time working on it, and so they told me that they wanted me to have the car.
Oh, nice.
Hal said to me, he said, we're going to get out of it, and we want you to have the car. And I said, well, hell, I don't have any money. I said, how am I going to buy a car? Because I didn't have any money, that much kind of money then, what you would think. But he said, no, I'll sell you the car, the trailer, and everything that goes with the car for $1,000.
A lot of money, though.
Well, it was kind of a lot, but it was cheap, too, because it was a good car. So I got the spare parts. I don't remember if there was a spare engine or what, but so then I took the car and put the 36 coupe on it, coupe body on it, and then I raced it that way until 76 or 77.
And then that pretty much works out about the time that you built the other car right there. So that really does work full circle. We are out of time already, Chuck, so I'm going to get back to you, and we're going to pick up from 1976, and we're going to go, because that's really, as you can tell from the looks of that car versus the one you're seeing in the photo now, that's when a lot of things did change in racing, and it became a little bit more like we did today. So look for that one to come up again soon. Subscribe. Chuck, stay on the line if you can for me, and we're going to keep this going and tell you a little bit more about the guy that was known as the Pink Panther, who won a lot of races down in the Southern Tier. Chuck, again, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.